Assalamualaikum everyone, this is Seher Ahmed again from Studio by TCS and अब हमारे साथ इस वक्त शमाइल अंसारी इस live session में आएंगी. Shamaeel Ansari is one of the leading designers of Pakistan, and she's been in this industry for about 24 years. So Shamaeel is going to join us. She's going to tell us about the fashion trends right now, how COVID-19 has affected the fashion industry. She has a wealth of information about the fashion industry. So I'm really looking forward to having this conversation with her. And if you guys have any questions, please let us know. Keep typing in. I'll take all your questions as well. And अगर आपको कुछ और बातें भी करनी हो, please message us anytime, and we will respond to those messages as well. So I'm just waiting for Shamaeel to come online, and we're going to take Shamaeel Ansari online with us. As I mentioned, Shamaeel has been in this industry for 24 years. Her prints, her digital prints, I personally love a lot. They're very vibrant, have a lot of color. She takes a lot of inspiration from her ancestral heritage, but I let her talk about that more. So I'm just waiting for Shamaeel, and as soon as she comes online, we will take her live. आप लोगों के रोजे कैसे चल रहे हैं? I think Shamaeel has just joined us. So again, we're going to have a conversation with the leading designer, one of the leading designers of Pakistan, Shamaeel Ansari. I'm just waiting to come on. I've sent her an invitation, and she's coming on. Assalamualaikum, Shamaeel. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing, Seher? Lovely to be in touch with you and TCS as always.
I know, it's lovely to see your face. You know, after such a long time, itne dinon se mulaqat nahi hui. So thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So Shamaeel, I was telling our viewers right now, okay, you're one of Pakistan's leading fashion designers, and you've been in this industry for 24 years, so you have a wealth of information about fashion and the fashion industry. Can you tell us a little about how you got started? Was it since childhood you wanted to become a fashion designer, or what was that turning point where you decided this is what you want to do?
I actually, Seher, I believe in twists and turnarounds that happen naturally. And I must say that I never thought I would be a fashion designer. I actually graduated from Berkeley with my degree in finance and corporate law. But as a child, my passion was always in art. It was in, historical aspects, culture, textiles, anthropology. I was a great museum person. And, also I come from a family of basically from the heritage of Tipu Sultan. So grew up in a house where textiles was really an important thing, because in South India, it's always an important thing. And my great-grandfather was actually the first person who opened the silk textiles in Mysore. He developed that whole product.
Wow.
And so I grew up with a lot of color in my life, with a lot of, old vintage carpets and stuff like that. And my mother was very much involved in kind of fashion also, because she started one of the first Pakistan's women's magazine called the Henna magazine. And she organized a lot of fashion shows with, companies like TJ. In those days, and that was years ago. So I guess, I think in ambiguous way, psychologically, I knew what fashion was. I was interested in culture. I was interested in craft. And after my graduation, I was, I wanted to just do a diploma just to entertain myself really in London for fashion, just like a 3-month diploma. And at that time, it was Imran Khan's, I think it was his, a tenure where he was actually, moving away from cricket. And so he had a charity event. And I was asked in London that, look, if you're doing something that has to do with fashion, even if it's a diploma, would you mind showing us a couple of outfits? And I said, all right. And really there was no turning back, you know. So that's how I started. And being one of the pioneer designers of Pakistan, I think it was a great achievement in trying to really, it was all about self-learning, without a degree in fashion, really. It was about reading. I loved reading books on fashion, on really well-known international designers, and really, you know, in terms of how do you do the stitching, how do you really do the tankas in embroidery, in handcraft. So it was all about self-learning, teaching myself, teaching my team, and developing it. And it's been 34 years now, so it's really been it's been lovely for me. I've been lucky that I could go with my heart and say that's what I want to do, you know. And I think in life that works out, because it's your passion that really takes you to your success.
Absolutely. I think passion is so important. And, you know, if you want to do something when if you're passionate about it, it doesn't even seem like work, you know?
That's right. That's right. I
So,
mean,
go ahead, please.
I just believe that, you know, passion is something in every aspect of career. You have to feel the joy of what you do. You have to be interested in it. Yes, there are ups and downs in every career where you feel, oh my God, that's routine and I'm kind of, you know, had enough of it. But I think as long as you have that inner incense of that passion, you know, life continues, that career continues, and it's success after success. And Alhamdulillah, I've lived that really.
Yeah. Well, we're already getting comments in about people who love your designs and the color and the royal colors as well. I just want to, I'm sure, I mean, a lot of viewers know this, but I'm sure a lot of them don't. Before Chaya Chaya even came out, you did a shoot on Orient Express with the railways. And can you tell me a little about
That's
that?
right.
Because I find that so fascinating. And, you know, I wish we had a video that we could show people as well. If you do, please send it to us. But please tell us about that.
You know, I'll tell you something that basically you know, started with the philosophy. When I started my business in 1987, I felt that you have to be yourself. I was told by some senior designers that, hey, look, you know, why do you want to go for a location? It should just be about a ramp. But, you know, I fought against that. And I really believed in doing things the way I wanted to do them and the way I visualized things. I felt that the philosophy of fashion is not just what you create, but what is the backdrop to that? What do you think? What is your mood board to it? So all my life, I've worked in a way where my solo shows have really been my mood board. It has been a locational mood board. So, so inspired by the Orient really brought me down to the Orient Express. And it brings into my mind stuff like poetry, you know, and I mean, I'm one for poetry, I'm one for reading. So for me, it's always original soundtracks, it's always poetry, it's always a narrative, it's always teaching about fashion. So Orient Express was really about you know, being inspired from countries of the Orient. It was where the Orient Express goes. It was Turkey, it was India, it was China, it was Russia, and my inspirations were from there. And I really fought against it, and I really got the permission to do it at the city station in 1994, where you know, the entire platform was you know, the tracks were really the ramp, and you know, the bogies which carried a lot of you know, cargo was really the one that made the ramp. And I had the oldest steam engine from Kotri Barrage come in on the other side to bring the models in so that the, you know, the people could see it. So it was a very thematic show. And I've done shows also at like the Hindu Gymkhana, at the Ismaili Gymkhana. I recently, 2017, which TCS was the biggest support for me, was the Blue Tulip show, where I actually curated the entire show for it to really look like a museum. And so instead of where you just see models all the time, this was on mannequins with written curation and actually a recited, poetic narrative by Faraz Maqsood Hamidi. And it was all inspired by the creativity of Turkey and their different characteristics, their different cultures, and the poetry of Rumi, really. And what Rumi really says is, what you seek is seeking you. So when you seek the inspiration and you truly love that passion, that comes back to you as a ball of success.
Oh, wow.
And
So
recently
Shamail,
also I did a solo show in London at one of historical locations for the Citizens Foundation. So a lot of my solo shows have been for charity. I'm very happy to have contributed my talent to help charities raise their funds, and it gives me that entire space to create and to do stuff the way I want to. So it's the psychology behind it, it's the thoughts behind it, it's the narrative, and it's a learning experience for other people who see those fashion shows. Is where do I get inspired from? What are the details? What are the techniques of the weaving, of the colors, of the embroideries? So it's I like to share my experience, my work, as a learning curve for everybody else.
oh, nice. Shamail, I've always noticed that even your whole the colors, they have a very they're very royal, and all your clothes have this luxury aspect to it. Even if it's your digital thread line, the colors are so royal and so exquisite. Where do you get these colors from? Like, I mean, I get astounded whenever I see them.
Well, I'll tell you something. We have a special recipe for our colors. So it's never a primary color. It's always a color that is perhaps looks vintage, yet it has a different feel to it. I'm not one for solid colors. I'm not one for primary colors. I'm not one for common colors. I like to create my own color. It has been always the biggest selling aspect also of the Shamaeel brand. And yes, you're absolutely right. Regality inspires me a lot, because I feel, that the eye to detail is something that the past lives actually lived in. When they did their embroideries, or when they wore clothes, whether it was the royal people or anyone, they really went into working into details. And unfortunately, with the future, with the present, with moving on with technology, we have really lost the eye to detail. Therefore, I really feel that when you go back to the past, you must learn. You must learn the eye to detail, and that is what really identifies regality. That everything is detailed, everything is classified in a particular, original, unique aspect. And as I must say that, in today's times, where it is the COVID-19 times, it's really a time to be safe. It's a time to stay home. It's a time not to be out. And we are happy to have had, to be closed down as a shop. Because we believe in following the rules, and we believe in really giving security and health as something that we follow, and something that we would like our customers to follow. So a lot of people have been calling me up, and Alhamdulillah, the Shamaeel brand has been dressing 3 generations. And they've been calling me up, and they're saying, look, we know that things are going to open up, and we love the Shamaeel outfit, and whatever the situation, we still want to book your outfits, because it's never a piece that's now and gone. It's a piece for lifetime. It's a piece we can wear forever, pass it on to our children, because it has that regality. It is a very reasonable price, yet it is something so unique, so different, that it can be an era. I mean, I've been telling them that, look, now is the time, and I'm happy to have put everything on Studio by TCS, and I'm giving them the reference to TCS because they want to buy these products, even in times. They want to save them, I believe, and they want to keep them for times better. I'm positive about things improving in the future. And yet we will have certain etiquettes that we will have to follow for safety, for security, for health. And it's time whereby I feel it's nice that people really want the Shamaeel brand because it has the regality and it's something that they know, I'll buy it today, but hey, 3 years later, 10 years later, I'll still be able to use it.
Yes, it is definitely timeless. I've seen that in your outfits that, I mean, when people say, oh, Shamaeel can be expensive, and I'm like, no, if you look at what she's providing you and, the fact that it's always going to be classic, it's always going to be on trend, and it lasts for a lifetime, and beyond that, it's really, really reasonable. So what you're getting out of it is much more than what you're actually paying for. But Shamaeel, talking about COVID-19, obviously it's really impacted the fashion industry,
Definitely.
especially retail. But at the same time, fashion industry, I don't think people realize this. There are a lot of designers like yourself who employ, people. People's wages are dependent on what you guys do. Can you
Yes.
explain a little bit about that? That, when we buy your outfit, who exactly are we also supporting?
That's a very, very important point that you've brought out, Sahar, and I'm happy that that you are questioning and I am answering on the Studio by TCS, portal, because I think this is something that internationally people need to know. Pakistan and some of the Asian countries are basically countries that have actually saved their heritage. All the pioneer designers of Pakistan have actually supported handcraft. Handcraft is hugely expensive in the West because it does not happen over there. It never happened over there. Even in exports, imports, it is done in Eastern countries. Pakistan is one country where, I started in 1987, which was really the start of the fashion industry. And at that time, we've trained people how to really do their embroideries, which is called handcraft. जिसे कहते हैं जरदोजी कहते हैं, मड़ोड़ी कहते हैं, तिल्ला कहते हैं, कसब कहते हैं, दोग कहते हैं. Now these are heritage embroideries. And these embroideries really take time. They take learning. It's not something that, you actually go and give to an industrial machine and you say, hey, okay, I've gotten my product done on the industrial machine and I've produced 12 pieces of the same kind. Hand embroidery is really a craft. It is heritage. And Pakistani fashion industry has actually saved the labor, trained them, and actually supported the heritage of this craft. So Pakistan is one of the countries that is truly alive in still making that craft. And the designers truly need to be paid that homage to have supported that. And actually the people who really do the embroideries are the karigars, they are the labor, they are wage rate people in our industry. And, with the COVID, yes, of course, there has been an entire economy lockdown for which is world economies have come down and maybe will come down too. But, it is time where, businesses perhaps or people who can afford can change their times around. They can change their thinking around, their careers around, their modality and their missions around. But what about people who are truly wage earners? They survive on that, they live on that. So you let them go and you say, okay, goodbye, I cannot have you anymore because we're closed down. And after months, you will go and find another job. Maybe you'll become a cook. Are we going to lose supporting the heritage of this this particular field of embroideries, of handcraft? Firstly, we need to support people who are actually wage earners, who need that money and that income to live it out of. And secondly, they also need we need to keep that craft alive. So I truly hope that all customers will pay forwards in buying these products. Shamaeel product is a handcraft product. It is not an industrial embroidery product. And that serves the wage people, and that really serves in keeping the heritage alive. So I think it's the customers and the economy needs to dedicate themselves in some modality. I do expect that there should be certain SOPs in how you actually keep your workers safe from one and another. And there are definitely ways in which to do that. You know, give your staff, the masks, provide them with sanitizers, sanitize your labor, your working areas, your factories, you know, every couple of weeks, and have systems in there, and have distancing in there. You can still have those people work. And I feel we need to bring that process in now, and we need to really keep the SOPs going. I'm very much a systems person. Being a finance person, finance graduate, I'm really into systems, and I believe in those systems. So I think designers need to put those systems down, and that is one way, not just to save your business, but to save the income for people who truly need it, and to actually save the heritage craft really in Pakistan. And and I believe in being positive. I truly believe that it's not about saying that, oh my God, the economies are all going down and businesses are going to go down now. Think about it positively. You cannot think of the past and say that we were better and now we're worse. Or you cannot think of the future and say, maybe. You have to work in the present. The present is the power of now, really. And if you really think of how to handle things now, lots of opportunities come in and you can win those opportunities. And I believe in the present situation.
Wow, Shamaeel, those are really like words of wisdom, and and very hopeful. And that is something that we need right now, to be hopeful as well, because there's just so much going on. There's just so much, talk about just negative stuff these days, that we need this positivity as well. So thank you for that.
My pleasure. I'm really thankful that you gave me the
I think we've... Sorry, Shamaeel, what were you saying? With your pause for a second.
I said I'm really thankful for you to have had that question put in, because I really believe we need to put in systems, and I believe we need to be positive about the present. You're positive about the present, you will create a better future for yourself.
Absolutely. Shamaeel, so, since you started working for Studio by TCS, I mean, before I just knew you as a designer, but while working with Studio by TCS, I realized you're the complete package. You're just not a designer. You handle your business. You're very hands-on. You look at what's being done. You're very hands-on with the stitching as well. You're very hands-on with the whole operations of Shamaeel Ansari as well, and that is remarkable, because we don't see such hands-on people any longer.
I have to say that the first company that opened a design studio online for designers that are really high-end or really detail-oriented designers is Studio by TCS. And I remember getting a call by Studio by TCS, and I was the first person who got the orders on when Studio by TCS came online. Yeah. So I'm very pro Studio by TCS, and I've always had a great relationship with your company, and I really believe that they believe in designers to create that special portal. you know, it's the way you all market things. And you know, I've always, when I did my Blue Tulip show in 2017, I know TCS really supported me in that. And you know, it really, you know, international markets opened up for that. And and I feel TCS is a very corporate company. And so if I'm on with things, I like working with a corporate company.
Oh, good, good. So, Shamail, I know that right now, obviously, you're saying that your shop is also closed. But again, like people can still order, and they can order through Studio by TCS, or they can order through your website
Yes.
as well. On Studio, we're having a 20% sale for Shamail. So,
Yes.
if you guys want,
You
please
know,
avail that.
I've given a 20% discount because I feel that it's I think people need that in today's time. People don't have that kind of income, or they want to save a little bit of money, so that advantage should be given to the customers. And secondly, you know, I know people would buy my product, as Studio by TCS has booked really luxury outfits with me as well, you know, at very high end always. But I really feel that I want to give this discount because I want people to buy, everybody to buy, to contribute to hand workers, really. So my idea of giving the discount is to getting the money to actually having my wage rate people have their work truly.
Yeah, so basically, when you buy a Shamail outfit, you're paying it forward in the sense that you're actually supporting these daily wages. But not only that, you are preserving your heritage as well. You're preserving the Pakistan heritage. You're preserving that embroidery, the hand embroidery that is only available in Pakistan, really. So, I mean, there's so many pros to buying a Shamail outfit.
Yes, I think people should know that. And people who buy Shamail product know that it is really something that is handworked. And you know, I am so happy that Studio by TCS has always given me that aplomb and that homage of it being really something different. And you know, there was a time when a lot of my people in my on my board of directors told me, you're going online, but your product is so special, it's so individual. But I said, let's give it a shot, you know. And you know, I'm so happy that it does sell online now, you know. And whoever's calling me for it, I'm forwarding them online, so that they can get it through Studio by TCS. And I really feel that that may be the new way of selling, really. And for some time, I think it's going to be a lot of advantage for selling online. Firstly, it gives a lot of people a lot of comfort in terms of, oh, I don't have to go to a store. I don't have to, go and, look for something and then go here, go there. In today's time, everybody's busy. Even if the COVID finishes, inshallah, which it will, people don't have time. So when you're online, you could be anywhere and ordering. So I think online is the best way to do the business, really, is the best way to buy. And what I love about Studio by TCS is that you guys speak to the customers, because I always say, look, I want their special measurements, and you guys always get it for me.
Yes, we're actually in constant touch with the customers. But Shamail, I have to tell you that when Studio started, it was very tough for us to even get designers on board because it was such a new concept, especially for luxury
Yes.
wear to come on board. But you sort of had that foresight, and you were the first one to say yes, that I'm going to do this. So I think also in this time where everyone is now coming online, you also have kind of an advantage because people know who've been buying Shamail that when you buy Shamail online, they're going to get that same product as well. What you see is what you get as well.
Absolutely, and the fact that it is customized. I mean, people should not think that really that the Shamail product, if it's on online, it is not customized. It is very much customized. So whoever has bought my product, and I think we've been working with Studio by TCS for now about 5 years or so, 4 5 years,
3 years, sorry.
and 3 years, yeah. So the thing is that, and it's still been selling. So people do not complain because they know it's customized. It's very much the same.
Shamail, another thing, Eid is coming up now, right? And even though obviously, all of us are still advising that please stay at home even on Eid, but getting that new outfit on Eid is still very special, COVID or not. Like, I'd like to have a new outfit as well, even for my Zoom calls, or however I might celebrate Eid over WhatsApp video or Zoom videos. Can you hear me? Sorry, is Shamail there? Sorry, Shamail. I think we lost you for a second. No, now you're back.
Um, Really, I mean, we are opening another collection with Studio by TCS, which is the Eid collection. And that is the Shamaeel Pret collection. Very reasonable priced. It's from 27,000 rupees to about 47,000 rupees. But yet it's all handcrafted. It's all very specially designed. It's a Pret collection in today's times where it's going to be Eid. Yes, the Shamaeel product, if you want to buy the luxury product, it is at a 20% discount, and I feel that it's a product that you can wear on Eid, yet you can continue keeping it forever. And when it comes to the new Pret collection that we've gotten for Eid, which I think you guys are going to launch very soon, it's something that really talks about being relaxed. It's about something that's all floaty and relaxed and breezy and natural and casual, yet it has the Shamaeel essence in it.
Oh, lovely. So I look forward to that collection. So actually, the point that I was trying to get at is that, for example, I started doing these live sessions, for our audience to keep them engaged, but also to, encourage them to stay at home. But I didn't realize the effects it had on me. I actually started feeling better when I would put on a bit of lipstick. Otherwise, I'd just be in my pajamas, I'd take a shower, and then get into a new set of pajamas. So that way I also feel it is important to celebrate Eid, to find happiness in that as well. And that's what I've been trying to explain to people. They're like, how can you say कि Eid के लिए नए कपड़े? And I'm like, it'll make you feel better as well if you do it.
Absolutely. I feel that, whatever you feel, positivity, happiness, it's all something that is, it's all within you, really. It's something that you don't have to go out to feel happy. You're powerful only when you will feel happy from within. That's what is going to bring you future happiness. So, if you are sitting with people that you live with in the house, and you actually, will be wearing the Eid outfit. Yes, the Eid outfit should be perhaps a little bit more simple, but wear it and feel happy about yourself, really. Eid is not just a cultural aspect or just a joy aspect. Eid is also a religious aspect. We're Muslims. We like to follow where God gives us that little instruction that, hey, be happy, enjoy yourself, sit in the house, be happy, enjoy yourselves, and you are safe with your family who you live with. Enjoy it with that. I would love to dress up nicely and be like I'm on a chat with you, on a chat with my friends. I'm still living that essence. Yeah. So I really feel that you have to feel positive about it. Perhaps it might be a little difficult for Eid this time because it's something that we're all getting used to. But whatever it is, whoever does buy, whoever does celebrate, good for them.
Yeah, good. And also, at the same time, do give back as well, because we're all in this together, and it's important that if you can, then and give back. I say it's so simple to give back in whichever way you can. Like right now, I was thinking because of the heat wave, you can just put water outside so the birds can have it. So these little ways you can give back all the time.
Yes, you can. And I think, if you look at things positively, yes, it has been sad for a lot of people. But, if you look at the positive side, whoever has been lucky enough, mashallah, to be healthy, to be, within, sort of being in their home and safe, it's time to reflect. It's time to think about your own self and get to know your inner self, really. So, yes, I've been watering plants also. I've been looking after my garden, looking at nature. I've been meditating, I've been, praying. I've been reading books, not just on internet or on iPads, but actually picking up old books that I love to read. So, I'm getting to feel myself again. So this is a time when you really discover the real you. So if you look at things positively, we decide what the real you is, the real person is. And, gives us a time also to know that with the working and career modalities, we must not think that because things are going to fall down, that, oh my God, we're going to kill ourselves here. No. You got to maintain balance in life because there are certain things that are beyond somebody's control. So be positive, be yourself, and really learn about yourself.
Well, those are again, Shamaeel, very wise words from you. Can you tell me, just going a little off topic, but going forward, I know that your clothes have always been very classic, but are you seeing any trends, any colors coming up? Like, what do you think might be?
See, I really feel that, today is a time where you have to think of no limitations really in life. And it doesn't mean that, hey, red is it, or hey, white is it, or hey, pastels are in it. This is a time where we've sat back and, as we just discussed, that you have actually figured your individuality out, really. That who is the real you. Somebody might turn around and say, hey, the real me loves the color black. Or somebody might turn around and say, the real me loves green. Somebody might turn around and say, the real me loves something that's, flamboyantly pink. So be yourself. I really, and forever I have believed in individuality. I do not believe in color trends. I mean, internationally, you may find one designer launching one color and another designer launching another. So what you feel is what you get and what you express, really. So be open to all kinds of colors, really. And, and be open to what you feel and what you really want to wear. And give yourself that option, and no limitations anymore. Individuality does not mean limitations. Individuality means yourself, and you go forwards to what you want, really, for your own self. So I believe in no limitations, really. I never have in designing. So I've never followed that, hey, this is the trend of whites or the trends of pastels. You could do bright colors in the middle of summer too, because you're kind of all weighing down with the heat or whatever. Hey, what about some bright colors? Why not? So let's not put limitations, really.
Well, that's so encouraging to hear, because I just feel that, especially now, there's so many avenues to express yourself as well. And, fashion is also one way of expressing yourself. And it's so important not to, I feel like a lot of people just going with the trend of fashion lose themselves, and they don't even realize if it's looking good, if it's not looking good, or even, sometimes they're not even happy with what they bought, but because it's on trend and it's so fashionable, they have to get it. And they're losing part of themselves that way, and that is kind of sad.
I truly believe that, because there's one thing about fashion. I mean, like, you are a Portel which has millions and millions of dresses on. It gives the buyer an opportunity to really feel and look into it and say, what do I like? And fashion is not a must. It is a joy. So really, if it's a joy, then do select what you feel, you're in sync with. And I truly believe that about fashion. And I truly believe it is your style, really. Fashion is, it's really wrong to be that this is trendy, so don't become a victim of trends. Have your own strength of individuality, really.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Shamaeel, before we end this, I just want to ask you, where do you get this positivity from? You're such a positive person, and it makes me smile. And I'm just wanting to know where you get it from.
Well, I don't know where I get it from, but I think it has a lot to do with one's upbringing. So I was brought up by a very strong grandfather, a very strong mother. They were all business people. So we did business happily as a modality of life. However, I'll tell you, nobody's ever perfectly always happy. There are always ups and downs in life. I can't say that that I want to indicate the unreal aspects. Yes, I've had lot of sadnesses in my life. I've had tough times in my life, whether it's personal, whether it's business. Life is a myriad of cycles. It goes up, it goes down. But the whole thing is that how do you see the silver lining in a cloud? Only when there's darkness. So, observe the darkness and be positive that you'll come out of it. That will be the silver lining, and that will be something that will be your learning curve in life. So what makes you positive, what makes you strong is a learning curve in life. You go down, you learn, you come up again. So I think that's being powerful, really.
Those are very, very powerful words by you, Shamaeel. Anything you'd like to say to our audience? By the way, Shamaeel, since this is
Yes.
also your first time on Insta, I'd like you to know that we keep this on for 24 hours and then we put it on our newsfeed and we put it on Facebook. So this will go to a lot of people. So anything you want to say to them?
Yes, I'd like to say to them that that please be positive. This is a time where we are there for each other. Perhaps not when we are sitting together, but in our minds and in our hearts, we are there for everyone. We are there for ourselves, we are there for people we love, and we are there for people who are truly in times of trouble. Think of it. What do you do to help them? Whether it's food you give them, whether it's prayer you give them, or whatever you can do. This is a time of thinking of oneness, really. It's something that I really remember the quotation of Ibn al-Arabi, who said that alone with alone. You are alone, but who is the second alone? That is your unity with God, really. And oneness with God is the spirit of being oneness with your community, with the rest of the humanity too. So let's think of oneness in times of today, how we can help ourselves and everybody else. We stay safe, and wherever we can afford to give ourselves some joy, please give yourself some joy. And I'm happy that TCS has brought in a business modality of selling online that will be the future of selling of the fashion business, really. And whatever you feel, and for the people in the fashion industry, can I really turn around and say that, hey, your perception needs to justify your uniqueness, really. So embrace your uniqueness in life and your individuality, whether it's in any field or your thoughts. I think that'll go a long way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shamaeel, for being on our session tonight. And I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving me so much time. We got great comments as well from the viewers. They all love you. And, tonight I got to know Shamaeel more than the designer. I got to know your philosophy. I got to know what inspires you, what keeps you so positive, your whole sort of, a lot of the oneness with God and, all of that and how to give back. So it was really interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and I'd like the people to know that Studio by TCS is supporting a virtual fashion week that will be coming. It's with no contact. It's really, and it's a wonderful way how designers think, how stylists create, all sitting individually. And I'd love people to see that. I'm a part of it, and thank you, Studio by TCS, for being a part of it. And it really shows you that, sometimes people think that, oh my God, big firms are those, who really have big teams and big companies. No, your power is your individuality. So I think that virtual aspect will show us that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Shamaeel. Thanks a lot. Thanks always for
My
supporting Studio
pleasure.
by TCS. And thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Dafis.
Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye. So viewers, that was Shamaeel Ansari, one of Pakistan's leading designers, and I had a great time. I've seen Shamael's clothes, but I never really knew Shamael's personality, and a lot of her inspiration comes from her heritage, which comes from Tipu Sultan. But all the talk about giving back, that's so important right now. आप जिस तरह भी दे सकते हैं, आप अगर दुआएं सिर्फ कर सकते हैं तो दुआ करें. We're all in this together. I keep saying this because we really are. And if Studio by TCS can help you in any way, please do get in touch with us. We will try to do whatever we can. आप लोग सब अपना ख्याल रखिएगा. Until next time, खुदा हाफिज़.